Hey out there, this is Buzz with the Survival Buzz. So I hope everybody out there had a good work week and is going to have a safe holiday and has a lot of fun stuff planned to do. I'm actually off for the weekend, so just going to relax out in the backyard, get a few things done, and then unwind, maybe have a fire, shoot off some fireworks with the kids, that sort of thing, have a little cookout. But I'm just starting to grow a little concerned with everything going on with all these Supreme Court rulings. And I know I mentioned it before in a video, but I honestly feel like the government is just playing both sides at this point. I think they're getting everybody so riled up that they're hoping that we just initiate things and then they can step in and save the day at this point. I mean, I actually even read a study, came out I think yesterday, but they surveyed like 1,000 voters, and granted, you know, these surveys and studies, I mean, I don't know how much to believe them, or you know how biased they are or whatever, but in this study they out of 1,000 voters, it was like 56% of them thought that the government was corrupt and that they were out against them basically. And then it was like an overwhelming majority from both sides, the Dems and the Republicans, over 70% on both sides, pretty much same thing. They didn't have much to say good about the other side of the party either. And then there was actually even, I think it was 28% of them, you know, thought at some point that we as civilians will have to take up arms against the gov because they're going to be so tyrannical. I mean, they already are, really. And it just seems to be this growing division. I mean, there has been for a while, but I've never known it to be this vast. I've never known it to be such a big ordeal where people can't get along to save their life on anything, on any topic. The divide is just too big, and the fat cat gov just sits back with all the big corporations and collects their check and taxes us into oblivion, basically. But there's this growing division, as well as, you know, the stock market is like the worst it's been, I think, in like 50 years. I mean, inflation's through the roof. I mean, I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. I mean, even here in Podunk, Oklahoma, you know, they've had abortion protests here. You know, I covered one on my last video, and by the way, I'm sorry the footage wasn't a little bit better on that, but it's rather nerve-wracking when you have hundreds of people staring at you, walking around you, and not really knowing which way the crowd's going with you. So I didn't really get the best footage on that, but I did want to get some, you know, and go out and express my 2A rights. But here, even in Oklahoma, since I shot that video just this week alone, today they started lining up as I was leaving work. We've had 3 days of abortion protests here outside of the courthouse in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yesterday it was like over 400 people showed up. A pretty good turnout, which, by the way, was brought on by I guess apparently, according to the paper, a 17-year-old girl on social media set it up, and over 400 people showed up. But you know, you read these interviews and different things, and it's just, it blows my mind that the country is so divided, and some people are so misinformed, and just basic things. I mean, you know, the 17-year-old girl that they interviewed that set up the abortion rally, you know, she said she was so happy that so many Tulsans showed up to help support women and people that give birth. So I was apparently misinformed growing up, because I was taught only women can have babies, but apparently that's the direction we're going nowadays, and everything is inside out, upside down, in every which way but the way it should be. And I got news for you, man. This youth, the big gov and corporations and social media and movie stars and singers and everybody, they're pulling the liberal wool over these kids' eyes, and the majority of them are against it. So I'm not going to say there isn't a few good conservative kids out there, but I mean, when it comes down to you don't even know whether boys or girls have babies, they're well misinformed. Like I said, they're trying to pass the transgendered education for teachers here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a lot of people ain't having it. But I tell you, man, this world is going to crap, and the division is great, and you better get your ducks in a row if you haven't already, because I don't know how long this boat can stay afloat before it just starts sinking, honestly. They're just sitting back waiting for us to take the first shot, really. And hopefully it doesn't happen. You know, like I said, we're already at 3 days worth of abortion protests here in Oklahoma. I can only imagine what, you know, the bigger cities, Portland, Chicago, New York, places like that's going through. I mean, you see the things in the news, but I mean, anymore it's just all this fear-mongering news, and a lot of it, or at least I do, take it with a grain of salt, because I really don't know what to believe anymore. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. You know, go out there, celebrate your independence, have fun with your family and friends, have a good time, let loose, but you know, always be looking over your shoulder, because the division is great, and people are just idly sitting by waiting for somebody to take the first shot. And I don't want to be that person. I know you guys don't either, but you know, just pay attention to what's going on around you, and be aware and have fun. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Later.